Good afternoon. It is April the 11th, 2018. Time to wrap up today, take a look at tomorrow. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations, unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading. Also, since the trades have not been executed, the results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact they are designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Okay, the first trade, we start out this morning basically wanting to sell 50s to 55s. We lowered that at our 8 o'clock update because we were trading down here in the 34 area. But the first trade that set up for us to the short side was a called trade selling 49 50s, and we were able to pull 3 points out of that. We moved our stop to take 3 on that particular bar. I had it roll up to 55 and didn't really get much, didn't get an official signal as far as the genders trades go till we got down to there. There was 5 attempts to go higher. There was a pattern up here. It was the second standard deviation. So this little trade down here made you a little to scratch. Any of these trades made you some pretty darn good money. Got stops above 60. Then we started to slowly notch our way down. The market was whipsawed today by news. War on, war off, war on. Market doesn't break, market rallies. Trump comes back this afternoon saying be prepared for an attack, which seems pretty stupid to me. You want to telegraph your punches, if you know what I'm saying. So kind of a day driven by news. A little bit tougher trading than we had on Monday and Tuesday, where we didn't have a day that was crazily driven by news. Looking at our F1 screen, inside day, find a place to trade it, find levels to trade. Our F2 screen inside the congestion area leans P, volume is well above time. If we look at the entire day, spend a little bit more time down here in the 45 area, give or take, and it'll start to lean B. So again, it just has trading range written on it, is what it does have. Tomorrow's news, jobless claims, import-export prices, natural gas inventory. So there's really no news for tomorrow, so we'll be probably awakened to whether we've attacked Syria or not. First trade up here, 49 to 54, sell 1. 59.64, sell 2, on the assumption we'll have a trading range tomorrow. Right now, 36 to 31, buy 1. Think we can go a little lower in the overnight. Don't know. We'll put a question mark at 41. And then 21 to 26 for buy 2. The drumbeat of war has taken the indexes down, but again, there's just so many things that, I mean, telegraphing your punches, attacks on the way. I mean, I don't know why Assad would gas. It doesn't make sense gassing your own countrymen, because it's sure to invite an attack by the United States. But maybe he needs an attack by the United States to stay in power. I mean, it really doesn't add up from a lot of different levels. The conspiracy people out there will tell us that Trump's strings are being pulled by other powers. That may or may not be true. Hard to believe that anybody can pull Trump's strings, but stranger things have happened. Just don't know. Okay, outside day, the 10-year auction was weak. The 3-year auction was mediocre. Outside day says find a place to trade it. That fits. Tomorrow's the 30-year. auction, and those it's really difficult to move paper. But my guess is we'll be down in London, we'll be down in the overnight because the auction is weak, and we'll probably find buyers maybe at 24 or better, maybe at 20 or better. So I think this 20 to 24 area is probably reasonable support, so we'll put a buy 1 down there, and then we'll make 13 to 17 for buy 2. On the sell side, 31s to 03 is kind of where we were today. 7 to 11. Like I said, tomorrow's news is pretty minimal. But we'll have days where things just don't make a lot of sense, and on days like that where you can't really figure it out with any degree of comfort, you just take the better trade setups, or you cut down your size. About the only way that you can handle that. And as you've figured out by now, we are pretty defensive in what we do. Okay, the buck to 04, number 1, buy 25s to 29s. If the E-mini crashes later on this afternoon, we won't be able to buy treasuries on the cheap, and we sure don't want to be short if the equities are selling in a big way. 12 to 16, number 1. 1923, sell 1. 2731, sell 2. Gold came off a bunch, as did the E-mini, as did the bond. We did trade higher than the monthly highs. Higher low, higher high. Find a place to buy it. Something's going on in gold right now. That makes it a little hard to explain. We have a B, but with higher prices. When we get a B with higher prices like that, that's long liquidation. So some traders took some profits up here. By the cleanest break in the markets up here is at 64. Got a last rotate up at 60. We're at 55.50. So 58 to 60. Sell 1. Pick this area up right here. 63.65. Sell 2. On the buy side, 50 to 52. 45 to 47. You know what I find extremely hard to believe is these figureheads, the people that supposedly own Google and Facebook and all these other companies. When you look at Zuckerberg's testimony, how could this guy create and manage and staff and build up a company, billion-dollar company in revenue that quickly, having absolutely no experience at all, and having been accused of stealing the original idea from 2 of his buddies? And you see the people that run Google up there. How do they build something that's that big and run something that vast and that big and get that kind of growth and do it that quickly? It really, really makes you wonder who's pulling their strings or who they're fronting for. Crude oil, higher low, higher high. Find a place to buy it. Saudi wants $80 oil, and perhaps we have war in the Middle East. More and more talk about this. We're going to a war footing. A war is about to break out in the Middle East. And when I come back and look at what's going on in the Middle East, I mean, you got Iran through Yemen attacking Saudi Arabia. That's been going on for a while. Probably the biggest change is Turkey's incursions into Syria and parts of Iraq, going after the Kurds, which they've never done before. I mean, things are all stirred up over there, but it doesn't. I mean, the Palestinians are rioting in Gaza. Doesn't look a lot different than it normally looks, but the drumbeat of war is getting louder and louder. 67, 67 and a quarter, sell 1. 67.50, 75, sell 2. On the buy side, we had our breakout come at 35, so 66 and a quarter, 66.50 buy 1. 65, 75, 66 buy 2. Wow, the CIA really gets around. Like George W. Bush was the dumbest person on the face of the earth, but he created all these problems everywhere. Mastermind behind all the political upheavals and disruption. Can't go all the way with you on that one, Jeff. Not that I know any more than you do, but it's just, I probably got no less. It just doesn't ring. I've watched the CIA for years screw up one country at a time, but not usually the whole world. Might be doing it. I mean, I don't know, but it just, to what purpose? Okay, Draghi spoke at 7 Eastern this morning. Euro was up a little bit off of that, but not a whole lot. Then came back down. So higher low, higher high. We did get to 24.50 where we thought we might. And we had a 45 to 55 sell this morning, then basically 75, so we were able to get that early in the session, and it produced a hell of a trade for us. Slowly notching higher right here as long as we stay above 124 even. Stops above 125 or within reach. Take a piece of news to get there. Don't know what that piece of news will be, but it could certainly happen. 24 even, 24.10 buy 1. 23.75 buy 2. On the sell side, 24.40 to 50. We'll bring it in a little bit. And then back to 24.75 for sell 2. And that does it for this April the 11th. Get to keep my money in my account here for till next Tuesday, I guess, and whenever they cash the check. Always feel pretty good until quarterlies roll around, and then got to get back after it again. That does it for this April 11th. I will see y'all bright and early in the morning. It's 72 degrees outside. Wind's not blowing 100 miles an hour yet. So I'm going to, this afternoon, maybe get out for my first bicycle ride of the season here. Maybe wind's not too high, and see what it feels like. Y'all have a great evening. I'm out of here.